tonight I'm going to take us on a journey, and I'm going to speak on trusting God's perfect will within an imperfect world. God is perfect. God is absolute. God has no shadow of turning. God has no imperfection in him. God is eternal. He has no beginning and he has no end. He has no time when he starts to be and a time when he ceases to be. Because God has no beginning, he can have no end. The only things that can have an end are things that have a beginning. But God has no beginning, so there is no end to him. His ways are perfect. He knows the end from the beginning. From generation to generation, he's God. But we are human beings, and we are not eternal. We are time-bound. We live in times. We live in seasons. We live in moments. But we have to deal with an eternal God. And that's always a conflict, something that has no time dealing with something that has time, or things that have time dealing with something or someone who has no time. It's like visiting somebody who has no respect for time. And you go to visit him, you think you're going to see him for 5 minutes, but he has no appreciation for 5 minutes. And you sit with him and you talk for 5 minutes, and he goes for 10 minutes, and he goes for 20 minutes, and he goes for an hour. You start looking at your clock, but he has no clock. And he goes for 1 day, and you start, when is this going to end? Because this guy dwells in a place of no time. You deal with time, and that gives you a mirror of how we relate to God. We are time-bound. He is not time-bound. And because of that, God's purposes for us are difficult to discern, because he's timeless and we are time-bound. And apart from that, God is perfect, but human beings are imperfect. Human beings can be crooks, they can be liars, they can be cheats, they can be deceptive. The world can be a very, very devilish place. And yet the perfect God has to work in an imperfect world. And one of the challenges of every Christian is how we navigate the perfect will of God in an imperfect world, and how God guides us to bring us into the assignment he has for us through the imperfection of our world and the imperfection of people. No matter the imperfection of people and the situations you're dealing with, God's perfect will is constantly being worked out, because God's will cannot be sabotaged by imperfect people. So I'm going to take you on a journey in the book of Jeremiah, and I'm going to take my time to walk you through and for you to see the sequence of God's will and how the imperfection of situations is being used by God to work out his will. We start from Jeremiah chapter 32. Jeremiah chapter 32. And we will be going through much of chapter 32. We'll take it verse by verse. And it says, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. Then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Judah's house. I like it when the Bible is narrating a story and is placing details of time, of years, and of particulars that are so precise. And there's so much of that in this verse. But Jeremiah is the one who receives this prophecy. He's one of the major prophets of Israel. And